Happy International Whores Day. Hey everyone, this is the Incredible Edible Aquinos, and this is your June BSWC monthly update. Sorry, I have been MIA for an entire month. It has been quite the chapter of 2020. I've been exceptionally busy, exceptionally depressed, and exceptionally hungry. So I made some time in my binge eating to sit down tonight and have a beautiful conversation with you about what's going on in BSWC land. So first, I want to open this up by saying some names for you all, and I hope that you will say them with me. Breonna Taylor, Regis Korchinski Paquette, Tony McDade, Renee Davis, Deborah Danner, Corinne Gaines, Symone Marshall, Raynette Turner, Ralkina Jones, Joyce Curnell, Kendra Chapman, Sandra Bland, Miriam Carey, Ayanna Stanley Jones, 7 years old, Sharice Francis, Rakia Boyd, Shantel Davis, Keon Blackney, Delencia Simmons, Monica, Daniqua Dodds, Dee Wingham, Bridget Shield, Tiffany Lowery, Jessica McGraw, Bobette Williams, Maureen Wanjuri Wahoo, 17, Rachel Elizabeth Bey, Courtney Yocum, Crystal Edmonds, Anna Canetta Date, Carmen Patricia Gonzalez, and Gania McMillan. Say her name. I'm very appalled at the fact that Breonna Taylor just died like 5 minutes ago. And even though I completely understand the righteous rage of Black people on a global scale right now, I am troubled, appalled, and disgusted at how Black women's death are being overshadowed and completely forgotten in the wake of these protests. I want to take that moment to acknowledge and to remember that there are many Black women who have died at the hands of police violence, and that what this situation is showing me, and it should be showing you right now, is that gender matters. Gender matters, right? Because there are Black women and trans men and women who are dying at the hands of police, and we are saying nothing. They're totally being forgotten. They're totally being wiped out from the conversation. They are totally being wiped out from history because we have a tendency to put forward male bodies before we put anything else. And I am very clear that as a woman and that as a person that's a part of the LGBTQIA community, that my life does not matter as much as a male body does. Again, I want to be very clear that I'm not trying to bring any disgrace or disrespect to George Floyd or his family or anyone that is supporting the outrage that is happening in his name. It is righteous rage, it is absolutely necessary, and I know that there are a lot of people out there right now that are raging because they hate the police and they hate the violence that the police inflict upon Black bodies, and they want it to stop. And I know that George Floyd's death is a catalyst for this change, and I really hope that it does change, and I really hate that he had to die in order for this uprising to happen. But I am wondering, as a Black woman, what does it take for you all to remember us and acknowledge our existence? Now, in a lot of cases, Black women have died, like in the case of when the cops allowed for the serial killer that was the Grim Sleeper in California, was going around killing mainly prostitutes who were Black women. They allowed that to happen, right? And no one cared because these were the no humans involved. They were the throwaways of society. They were not the perfect victims. They weren't white. They weren't white damsels in distress. So nobody really gave two shits about those victims. Okay, I can understand that because of the way that prostitution and people who engage in prostitution or any form of sexual labor is viewed in this society. However, Breonna Taylor was the perfect victim. She was at home in her bed sleeping. She was an EMT, and she was a Black woman. And in the face of this country and how woke we are supposed to be and how woke we portray ourselves to be, it is absolutely appalling to me that we aren't saying her name enough and saying the names of all these other people, other women that have died at the hands of police violence enough. It is scant a mention even of Sandra Bland, who I thought would be like the one woman that we remembered in time that was murdered at the hands of this police violence. And I don't want to take away from what's happening. I don't want to insult the movement. That is not what I'm about. I'm very happy to see what's happening. I'm happy to see the outrage. I'm happy to see on the global scale how many people are really standing out against this. But I am disgusted to see that I have to squint to find mention of women, Black women in trans bodies. First of all, there's no trans people being mentioned. And if I do see Sandra Bland's name, I squint really hard before I see it. And I'm wondering, what is it going to take for you all to uplift us and remember us and fucking march in our names and rage in our names? You claim that you mention us in passing. You claim that they rape and kill and beat your women. But when acts of violence, especially at the hands of government-sanctioned agencies like the police department, you don't remember us. And I want to know, how do we need to die before you are outraged that Black women are also a part of this conversation and we should not be forgotten? Please say their name. Hold up signs for George Floyd in respect to his name and how brutal and disgusting it was that he died at the hands of racism, at the hands of white supremacy. But please, when you're out there marching and you're out there chanting and you're out there raging and you're out there rioting, hold up the fucking names of these Black women and trans people that have also died. Tony McDade was a trans man killed in Florida on May 27th. This is estimated to be the 12th violent trans or gender non-conforming person to die in 2020 killed by police. On June 3rd, the Human Rights Campaign will have a virtual town hall meeting to discuss his death. It will be streamed on their Facebook pages and YouTube channels. Regis Korchinski Paquette, I hope I'm saying the name correct, was allegedly pushed off a balcony by Toronto police. Her family called for assistance because sometimes she suffers from epilepsy. And she told the police she wanted to use the bathroom. They allowed her to do so, but they were following her in. And then there was some kind of commotion and the family heard her yelling out that she needed help. And the next thing you know, she was dead on the ground, confirmed dead, pushed off of her balcony, or fell off, allegedly pushed, but fell off the balcony is what the police said. I understand that these deaths were not televised in a way that strikes a chord, but I want to implore people to stop waiting, stop needing to wait for it to be such a graphic thing. Like, why do we need things to be so graphic before we act? I know Black people, we have been gathering for years and years and years, all right? But I want you all to know that you don't have to, it doesn't have to be such a fearful, violent act that you witness in order to act. This is kind of, and this goes for a deeper rant that I don't have time for because this is a BSWC update. This goes kind of deeper into the white supremacist mindset and how we kind of really, I don't think we all really grasp how deep racism goes and how white supremacy takes control of us, right? Because we think that it's just a word here or there. Maybe it's just an action here or there. But when we have to see the violence happen in a way that appeases to us, that is tasty to us, this is the way that our oppressors behave. We should not have to wait for it to get to that point before we act, before we are angry, before we are outraged. We have so many other reasons to be. But just like them, before they start to believe it, before they start to be conditioned to change, they constantly have to see it over and over again. So it doesn't even matter how many graphic images sometimes you see of them misbehaving. It sometimes doesn't register. And I'm wondering if maybe it doesn't register for us the same with Black women and trans bodies that it does with male bodies. There's a lot for us to unpack there in terms of patriarchy, in terms of racism, in terms of white supremacy and what it does to our mindset. But I do not have space to give all of that tonight. I just wanted to make sure that I took a moment at the very beginning of this update to hold space for those people that we are clearly forgetting in the current conversation. All right, now that I have bored you to tears and downed you, let me try to uplift you. There's a lot of things happening in BSWC land. So first of all, there's going to be all this wonderful merch that you're going to be able to purchase again on the website. We have not been selling merch because I have not been around. I'm no longer in the US right now, as some of you know. I'm overseas, and I was primarily the person doing the merchandise, shipping and things like that. And the last time I was in the US, I was staying right around the corner from a post office, so it was very easy for me to ship merch, but I'm no longer in the US. The US Postal Service is not operating properly. And so I've had to kind of switch gears. So looky here. So you're going to be able to purchase this shirt. And then we have another pink one because I think this might be the, well, maybe it's the same shirt. I don't remember because I don't know where the pink one is right now, but we had a pink one, and then we've got a red one, Say Her Name shirts that you are going to be able to purchase really soon. Additionally, you're going to also be able to purchase the Hands Up Don't Shoot shirts as well, so we can try and help raise some money for those groups that are fighting against that police violence specifically. And additionally, we've got some wonderful new images, new graphics for tote bags and things, and I cannot wait to share that with you. So please join the mailing list if you are not on it already at thebswc.org. And gosh, I'm so tired. Sorry, guys. And you'll see the new merchandise is going to be up there. Join that mailing list, and it's going to be fantastic. And I can't wait to settle my ass down with 4 more cups of coffee tomorrow and do it. So, all right, International Horse Day is Tuesday, and yay, it's our day. So listen, there's a thing that's going around right now on the internet that's annoying the fucking piss out of me. And what some of the hashtags are saying, International Sex Workers' Rights Day. Now that is cute and all, baby love, but it's actually International Horse Day. And I want y'all all to know right now, I need y'all to not get that shit fucked up, okay? Because Sex workers is cute, and I understand it's an umbrella term and it's a respectability term that, maybe the scared people like to use. But we around these parts that know history and really respect our whoredom, keep it funky. It's International Whores Day. There's a lot of things happening globally, from stuff happening in New York to Berlin to Australia, that I have seen. Join those virtual events. Here in Berlin, where I am, there's outdoor events that are happening, but we have to keep, a certain distance. And I will be out there at Brandenburg Gate on Tuesday, June 2nd, with the rest of the whores and whoever else wants to come and gather with us. And yeah, be there for all these virtual events and stand up and stand out, because I know that there's a lot happening in the world right now. And maybe people think like, so what? The sex workers, we don't matter. Fuck the sex workers. Who gives a fuck? All those bitches do is suck dick. That's not what sex work is just about. It's a very limited viewpoint on what sex work is and who sex workers are. And sex worker rights is a human rights, is a labor rights, is an immigration rights, reproductive rights, housing rights, all kinds of intersectionality going on in the conversation of sex workers, right? So if you want to talk about sex worker lifestyle, you're talking about a human lifestyle. So all the things that any one of you struggle with, healthcare, all of it, sex workers are also too facing those dilemmas. And when we're fighting for those rights to be recognized as respectable humans within society, those are also your rights that are being infringed upon. So it is really a high time right now that we all come together and join as people in society that just do different things, and they use their bodies in different ways, and they give their energy in different ways. All right, so please join the sex worker rights movement. Please support us. We cannot make changes within our community without the larger community stepping in and recognizing that there's a lot of intersectional issues there. So June 2nd is prime time for you to do that. Additionally, if you can't actually be physical out in these spaces, not to worry. The BSWC has got something coming up for you. So on July 22nd, we are having like this big birthday bash for you know who. Yes, me. And since I am not going to be able to travel for the first time in many years, I decided to do an online fundraiser event to bridge the gap between workers and also highlight the issues that sex workers are facing currently with the COVID-19 pandemic, which seems to have been forgotten now that there are riots happening all over the world. Or not riots, but protests happening all over the world. But sex workers and freelance artists and entrepreneurs have all been greatly impacted by COVID-19 because the government, local governments, are not really recognizing these people as workers and don't really have any relief aid set up for them, and they're completely being forgotten. What are they going to do? Are they going to just starve? I mean, who's allowed to make money? So, who's allowed to make money? Workers in Solidarity is a global event and birthday bashment, baby. So I don't want you to miss this. We have the Eventbrite link that we are working on, and we also have the GoFundMe link, which is going to start getting sent out by the time that you see this video, and it should be in the comments somewhere down there somewhere. So anyway, who's allowed to make money is a 22-hour, virtual event that's going to be happening. So what that means is you're going to be able to hop in and hop out to events that's happening all over the globe on a virtual scale, right? You can come in and you can see a burlesque show, you can see some poetry, you can see some pole dancing, you can see a workshop, a symposium, all kinds of things are going to be happening, and the schedule is still filling up with different contributors as we speak. So, oh my God, join the mailing list and, donate. So July 22nd, starting at 12 a.m. Central European time, and ending at 10 p.m. Central European time. So we have got contributors from Australia to Hawaii, Canada, and different parts of the United States as well. So please, 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 we have a $43,000 goal that we are trying to make. not much money at all. And we want to be able to basically support the US-based sex workers who are really facing a hard time during this crisis. However, since we're trying to bridge the gap together with other organizations and other movements of labor, we want to highlight their issues too. So you are welcome to give extra money that we can split between these other spaces and help them meet some financial goals. I was doing a lot of research on it this week, and sex workers in India are also facing a crazy crisis, right? Because what the government in India as well as here in Germany are trying to do is they're trying to use the COVID-19 as an excuse to not allow sex work to happen again. And we cannot let that happen, because baby, that's going to be a problem. Like, we sex workers need to be able to work, and everyone cannot do every kind of job. So please spare me the crocodile tears and a tiny violin that these people can just go do something else. Some people just want to be sex workers, and that's okay. I was one of those people. I grew up wanting to be a stripper, wanting to be a nude model, and I did it. But some people just want to do that, and we should allow them space to use their energy and their bodies in any way that they please. We should not infringe upon those rights of those people. So sex workers in India are really facing that challenge, and they're on lockdown and they're not able to work. And surprisingly, not surprisingly really, because if you've been to India, I haven't been, but I have heard how cheap it is to be there and to purchase things. Cheap for me, not cheap for them. But the amount of money that some Indian sex workers need to survive is really not a lot. And if you've got a stimulus check and if you've got unemployment coming in, you hopefully can afford to give, to spare an extra 20 or spare an extra 50 or 100 that the BSWC can use towards our goal, and additionally be able to support other organizations as well, because we are here in the US, and US sex workers organizations, sex worker led spaces do not get funding to begin with. We get a very tiny amount of funding, which really is not even enough to pay me a salary. So a lot of the money that we get coming in goes back into the community, and I'm pretty much doing this work for free. So please sign on. We're going to have the GoFundMe link up for you to click on and make a donation. GoFundMe has stopped doing the rewards. So listen, if you go in that box later and you see a GoFundMe link, great. If you see something else, also great, because we also want people to donate and be able to also get things like merchandise as well as access to ticketing spaces. So I will do my best with that for you. July 22nd, 12 a.m. to 10 p.m. so far, Central Standard Time. If we get an astronomical amount of people involved over the next month, that means it's going to go through different time zones, and it's going to be longer than that. So let's hope. I want everyone to be a part of this, and I want us to raise as much money as possible. I would love for us to exceed our $43,000 goal, because then that means that we can help more people, and we can put the help out to other organizations that need it as well. And the last item up for bids is the International AIDS Conference and HIV 2020 that our sister organizations, Desiree Alliance and Best Practices Policy Project and New Jersey Red Umbrella Alliance is going to be taking part in. Now, this conference comes up every year. And because of the COVID-19 pandemic, everything is being pushed back and set to the side, and no one can go anywhere because the world is closed off right now. So these conferences are now going to be virtual. And Desiree Alliance is going to have a booth at HIV 2020, yes. And PJ Star and Moral High Ground Productions is also going to be streaming some films for the AIDS 2020 this year. Please look for the links in the bio where you can take part in that and see what is going on. It's going to be some amazing things that we're doing. BSWC is not taking part in this. This year, usually I have been, actually, well, I started BSWC in 2018. So I have been a part of the International AIDS Conference since 2016. And this is the first time that I'm actually not taking part in it. They were trying to do it in San Francisco, and I just actually was not interested in trying to take part in that this year, but maybe for the next roundup. All right. I think that covers all the things that are happening right now, but the website is constantly being worked on. So please go to bswc.org, sign up to the mailing list. Additionally, I just found out that the form for support on the website was not working. So if you'd fill out that form and you didn't hear back from anyone, that means that we did not receive it. Someone just sent me the alert on that, and I was like, oh no. They had to hit me up on Twitter to find out what was going on. And listen, I check that mailbox, and if I don't respond to you, it's because I actually didn't get it, because I typically respond to everyone. All right. If you are a vendor or a brand of any kind and you want to do something to support BSWC by giving us some signal boosts for our events that are coming up, or additionally just our organization and trying to do fundraising events for us, we would love you to pieces if you would do that. Just shoot us a message. And especially going around to our conference, we would love to offer people discounts on things and whatever you've got to offer. So if you are a brand of some sort, a business of some sort, and you've got something to offer even during this time, please reach out to us and give us that offer so we can offer it to our patrons for the event. Ticket prices start at $15. You can make a donation. You can do all kinds of things. I'm gonna get out of here. I've got to go to bed. It's super late here in Berlin. And it's been a really long day. All right. The BSWC.org. Happy Horse Day, and I will see you next month. Check the description for links to like and follow us on social media. Sign up for our newsletter at thebswc.org, and please consider making a tax-deductible donation at actblue.com/donate/BSWC.